What is up, guys? Welcome to the season summary video. Sorry I didn't stream the season, but I kind of got caught up with school and stuff like that and Christmas break stuff. So we started the season. There's 6 of us, and this is just gonna be a summary of everything that happened. Thank you for watching this video. It took me forever to make this video, so if you could leave a like and then subscribe. But we're gonna start with the season summary. Our first game, we played the Dolphins. Tough game. I was really kind of, you know, trying to figure my team out, and it was a very interesting game. You see, I won at the end. I think I had a LaShawn McCoy walk-off touchdown with like 7 seconds left. Tough game, though. The Dolphins had a great fourth quarter. Mariota threw 2 interceptions. I was doing an offense that I'm not really used to, and that kind of hurt me. The first few games I did an offense I'm not really used to, and I kind of switched it at the end. So 1-0 after that game. We're going to move to the next game against the Los Angeles Rams. I won 28-10. I kind of started to settle in. McCoy 105 rushing yards. Obviously, he was a treat all year. You can see later when I show his actual stats. But yeah, so the Rams, after the first quarter, I was like, wow, this is going to be a tough game. But ended up making good use of it. Really kind of started to settle in with my team. And yeah, all importantly got to 2-0. I was not sure how the conference was going to play out, so getting these conference wins early was big. Speaking of conference wins, this is the first game I played with the West Coast offense, which I'm used to running, and I scored 42 points, so it clearly worked out. A big second quarter, 28 points. No touchdowns for Mariota, but 15 for 20, 243 yards. That is huge. McCoy, once again, a big game, 148 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. So I moved to 3-0. The 49ers 0-3 after that game, and they were pretty much bad the whole season. To the next game against the New York Jets, scored 41 points. Mariota didn't have a touchdown again. 3 interceptions. I was kind of worried because normally I have a bad touchdown-interception ratio. And this was when I was like, okay, I might be doing this again. Hopefully get a little bit better. Sorry about that noise. But yeah, McCoy didn't have the best of games, 80 yards. That's a great game, but was able to get the win. The Jets moved to 0-4 actually, and we moved to 4-0. To the next game against the Falcons, 5 passing touchdowns for Mariota. Finally got into a rhythm. I couldn't run the ball that great against the Falcons. They had a very good run defense. 1-5 was not what their talent level should have been. Derek Carr kind of struggled against me. But big game for Mariota. McCoy had a lot of receiving yards in this game. I should point that out. I didn't put his receiving yards for the sake of space, but great receiving season for McCoy. Now to the first time I played the Cardinals, they were 3-3 coming into this game. Ryan Tannehill played amazing. He started, I think, 15 for 16. Kind of lost it a little bit towards the end of the game, but LaShawn McCoy 4 rushing touchdowns. Mariota on 7 incompletions. That's something I could be happy of. We won 43-19, 23 points in the fourth quarter, though, so the game was a little closer than that, but we moved to 6-0. Now, first user game, this is against Corey's team, the Saints. This game wasn't very close. I kind of hated it. I threw 8 touchdowns. I had 2 rushing touchdowns, 175 yards. He was really struggling to figure his team out. This is his first franchise with us, so he wasn't really sure how it was going to go. He kind of made some stupid trades. He had like Khalil Mack and stuff, and he traded away for Julian Edelman. But yeah, so tough game. I didn't put Breeze in there, but his quarterback's not Breeze. I kind of forgot who his quarterback was for a second. Tony Romo, that was his quarterback. So second user game, this is Jonah's team, the Bills. Jonah was 7-1 coming into that game. Of course, was 7-0. Really good game. Jonah kind of made a few mistakes, but I was able to move the ball effectively on offense. Mariota had a treat, 27-31 for 294 yards and 4 touchdowns. McCoy, not the best games, which normally happen against the users. It's hard to run the ball against users, but I was happy to get that win over a great team Jonah has. Then we moved to another AFC East team, the Patriots, with Ben Roethlisberger at quarterback. This was actually a really good team. Coming into this game at 4-4, you might not think they were that great, but they were a really good team. It was tough to keep them off the board. And of course, at this point of the season, I was dealing with a very injured secondary. AJ Boye and Morris Claiborne both had broken shoulders for a few games this season, but happy to get the win there. McCoy, another big game. I won 42-7 to move to 9-0. Now we have the game against the Eagles, John's old franchise team. Yeah, the Eagles were a little good on defense. Had a big second quarter, and that really helped me win this game. The Eagles were 5-4 coming in this game, so a good team in the NFC East, but was able to use a big second quarter. I only threw the ball 17 times, which is a little interesting. I tried to throw the ball more. This franchise just utilized Mariota, but yeah, not that many rushing yards either for McCoy. It was a tough game. Then I shut out the Bucks the next week, and I mean the Bucks really didn't do much. That's why I have Derrick Henry on there. Didn't put his yards. He had, I want to say he had 109 rushing. Yeah, he had 109 rushing yards in this game. Kind of forgot to put his yards when I made that in Photoshop, but 2 touchdowns. Big game for Derrick Henry, and that's why he's in there. I'm sorry for the train. You could probably hear it. Then we moved to this game. This game was the hardest game I played. That wasn't a user game all season. It was tough sledding. I think I scored a touchdown towards the end, and then went for 2 to make it a 2-point game. So something like that. It was, or no, they went for 2 at the end of the game, and it got intercepted by Luke Kuechly. But tough game. I threw 3 interceptions. Very tough. TJ Yeldon had an absolute dime of a game. Former Alabama running back, so I'm okay with that. Then we move to our next user game. This is John's team, the Packers. He came in this game 10-2. At this point, I had pretty much I thought this was going to be a game where if he beats me, he might get the 1 seed, but he ended up losing before that. This is these stats actually. Looking at this, our game kind of lagged out, so we just restarted and then we played the amount of time left, and then we just forced win for whoever would have won. I would have won, I think, by 14. I think that was it. So yeah, those stats are not indicative of what the game actually had, but I put those stats because that was the stats. So we played the Rams for the second time. McCoy, not that many rushing yards, but 2 touchdowns. Cam Newton kind of struggled against us. We had just gotten A.J. Boye back against John, and it was a kind of good game. Mariota, once again, was pretty accurate, 3 touchdowns. We moved to 14-0. We won the division, I'm pretty sure, after this game, or it might have been after the game against John. And we have the second of our 3 division games to finish it. Thank God it didn't come down to any of that. Set the rushing record for touchdowns with McCoy. Had 6 on the day. Only threw the ball 16 times, only 100 yards. Ryan Tannehill, once again, played well. But I was just able to win. I subbed McCoy out in the second half. But I put him in. I got to the 1-yard line a few times, and I put him in and ran a cheeky halfback pitch just to get him a touchdown. Because I was trying to break records with him. And then the last game of the season against the 49ers, only played Mariota the first half. That's why he only went 8 of 8. Threw in Seth Morris, I think, or Sean Morris, something like that, former Miami quarterback, and he was pretty bad. But Josh Gordon, a big game, 8 catches, 203 yards, 3 touchdowns. Did not play LaShawn McCoy in this game. That's why I was able to use that. So now that we've gone through that, of course, I went 16-0. You kind of get to see what the other teams that I played were doing and basically how I was playing. So now we'll move to the season stats. This is Marcus Mariota. Great season, 3,897 yards. I wanted to get over 4,000, but you'll see with LaShawn McCoy stats, I was okay with not breaking that 4,000 barrier. 75% completion percentage, 35 passing touchdowns, 13 interceptions, a QB rating of 122.8. That is the season I want to see from my quarterback. Like I said, I normally throw a lot of interceptions with quarterbacks, and my interception to touchdown ratio is never that good. You can see here on some highlights. Good passer to Golden Tate. That was kind of that's the 2 highlights. There's going to be another deep pass to Josh Gordon, but I was just throwing the ball short a lot with him. It was really nickel and diming down the field, so there weren't many big highlights that I could have put. Now we move to LaShawn McCoy. Almost 1,500 rushing yards. Le'Veon Bell for Chris's team, the Jaguars, had more yards, but 29 rushing touchdowns, an NFL record previously held by LaDainian Tomlinson with 28. I was able to break that with LaShawn McCoy, and that was pretty great. And then you look at that, 89 receptions, 1,077 receiving yards. That's unheard of for a running back. And LaShawn McCoy he was my main man this year. It was just amazing to have him on my team. You can see here this run. I mean, it was a bit cheeky because I was like stuck behind Zach Martin for a little bit, but good run by him. Got me on the board against the Cardinals. That's the second time I played the Cardinals. And then here, this was my bread and butter play most of the season. The halfback pitches, get LaShawn McCall on the edge. Normally I'd go to the other side so I could get Zach Martin blocking on the edge. And then here, I mean, that's just as wide open as you could get a screen. That was set up with a few good short passes, so that wasn't always him. And we get to our defense here. Our leading tackler, Luke Kuechly, 111 tackles this season. Amazing player. Interceptions, Jalen Collins, actually, who had to step in and be our number one corner a few times. Croy Bierman with 11 sacks, even though we had Leonard Williams on our team. Phil Gaines, 2 defensive touchdowns. And then 4 return touchdowns, 2 punt and 2 kick. Phil Gaines had an amazing season. I don't have the highlights of those in here. I wish I did, but I didn't record them on my Xbox, so that was kind of the problem with that. But now we look at some defensive one. This is a Philip Gaines pick 6. And you know, when he threw that, I did not think that was going to be picked off. Maybe Philip Gaines hits him and knocks the ball loose, but then Philip Gaines showing that speed that you could have seen on the punt or kick returns, but was not able to have those highlights in here. Nice dance from Philip Gaines there, the Rice man. And we'll move to this is a Croy Bierman sack. Of course, 11 sacks in the season. He was honestly a treat. I thought he was my worst defensive line player. And yeah, he was just really good. So now we move to the standings. The AFC North, Bo and the AFC North went 16-0. First time in NFL history, 2 teams have gone 16-0. And he didn't have much competition. The Bengals behind him, 6-10. The Browns 6-10, and the Steelers were 5-11. So Bo, like me, had a pretty bad division en route to a 16-0 season. Next, we're gonna have the AFC East. This is Jonah's division. Jonah went 14-2, lost to me, and lost, I think, the last week of the season, I want to say. Once again, not that great of a division. The Dolphins went 7-9. The Patriots went 6-10. The Jets went 4-12. But there was an 8-8 team that made the AFC playoffs, and you'll see it a little bit later. But yeah, so a few, very one good team divisions, kind of played out. And then we get to a division that, of course, none of us played in this division, the AFC West. The Chiefs won it at 9-7. The Raiders missed out in the playoffs at 8-8. Chargers 5-11. Broncos 5-11. All around, that division was just terrible. I mean, it's just, you don't normally see divisions be that bad, but the AFC West was, despite what they do in real life, was pretty bad this season. And that'll bring us to Chris's division with the Jaguars, 13-3. The Texans also finished 13-3. Chris, I think, won the division by virtue of, I think, conference wins. The Colts at 8-8 also made the playoffs. So the Jaguars, Texans, and Colts made the playoffs, and then the Titans 8-8. This was, I think, the best division in the NFL. Just a really tough division for a first time like Chris, and Chris did an absolutely great job in his first franchise, to make the playoffs, win his division the first season. We move to John's division, the NFC North, another bad division. Packers 12-4, that's John's team. Then the Lions at 7-9, Vikings 5-11, Bears 4-12. So, I mean, you see a trend where our user team is really good, and then the rest isn't so good. And that honestly hasn't happened in any of the franchises yet. We kind of seem to be getting a grasp of the game. I think we play on All-Pro, I want to say. So we might have to bump that up eventually. I don't think we will, though, because, I mean, we're basically where we need to be. The NFC East, no teams of ours in the NFC East. You have the Redskins won the division at 11-5. The Giants falling behind at 8-8. The Giants actually made the playoffs. The Eagles 7-9, and the Cowboys 6-10. So not like real life, the Cowboys weren't the best of teams. But that was, I think, the best division in the NFC. I want to say, we'll have to see in a bit. The NFC South, this is Schmill's division. Buccaneers won it, 10-6. Schmill was the Saints, by the way. We had that game earlier, just if you hadn't remembered. The Panthers 9-7. Schmill with the Saints, his home team, 5-11, and he nudged out the Falcons at 5-11. And that's saying something because Schmidt kind of messed up his team with trades and started 0-11 or something like that. But he turned it around at the end of the season. Not 0-11, but he started I think 0-9. Really turned it around, and I was kind of happy. He finally started to find his groove towards the end of the season. So hopefully he'll be a contender next season, win his division, so I can play him the season after. The NFC West, my division, of course, 16-0 the Seahawks. Then the Rams 7-9. The Rams actually turned it around at the end of the season. My division was awful for a very long time. The Niners 6-10 and the Cardinals 5-11. A lot of talent in my division, not that great teams. So now we have the AFC playoffs. Bo got the 1 seed. Chris lost in the wild card round to the Colts, the 6-seeded Colts. That you might see that as a trend, the 6 seed beating the 1 seed or the 3 seed, and then the Texans beat the Chiefs, the 4-seeded Texans, to play Jonah in the divisional round. So the AFC playoffs shaping up well. Bo will play the Colts, Jonah will play the Texans. Then we have the NFC playoffs. I was obviously the 1 seed. The Giants, the 6 seed, beat the Redskins. I told you there was going to be a trend there. And then the Buccaneers lost the division rival Panthers. So tough slating for the Buccaneers and for the NFC South. The 5 seed beating the NFC South winner. So I'll play the Giants, and you'll see that game tomorrow. And the Packers, which is John's team, will play the Panthers. So that's going to be all for this video. I hope you kind of like this dynamic. It's still interesting to me. I don't think I'm going to stream next season. I might do another one of these videos just because streaming itself, a lot of times we'll play late at night, and I'm like trying to do schoolwork during it and stuff like that. So these season summaries might become a regular thing when we finish the season. So stay tuned for my game against the Giants, and hopefully games after that. Thanks for watching.